Hello everyone, I am TitanicSizedReviews. I review movies, shows, and video games, and today I'm talking about Totally Killer, a 2023 Amazon original movie. This movie is an hour and 45 minutes long. It is labeled comedy horror. I'm going to talk about the basis of the story real quick, the characters, and then I'm just going to go over it in my review. So the basis of the story is that there's a serial killer who dresses kind of like Ken from Barbie, and he murders 3 women back in 1987, October 27th, 29th, and the 31st. And he stabs them each 16 times. Because they're all 16, and apparently that's the only reason for stabbing them 16 times. One of the girls from 1987, however, isn't targeted, and that's the mom of the main character, Jamie. That mom isn't targeted for certain reasons that you find out a little bit later in the movie. Alright, way later in the movie. Doesn't really matter. In the beginning of the movie, it's Halloween. Jamie's going out with her friend Amelia. Her dad drives them to some concert of some guy named Eddie who is famous, that apparently her mom used to date. Everyone knew back in the day. And basically you see her mom alone, handing out candy to trick-or-treaters. And all of a sudden, Ken makes his reappearance. Well, Ken ends up killing his mom. I wouldn't say this is a spoiler, because it doesn't matter. This movie is also about time, because they use a time machine. Shortly after the mom's death, Jamie's friend Amelia is working on a time machine that apparently her mom was working on back in the day. Kind of gets it working. All of a sudden, I'd say a day, maybe 2 after the mom's death, Ken goes after Jamie and tries to stab her and ends up stabbing the machine and somehow sends her back in time, where she's going to obviously try and prevent her mother's death. That is the basis of the story. As I said, our main character is Jamie. She's a metalhead. Kind of a thought police type of person. I mean, when she goes back in the past, there's a lot of stuff that's just, you know, racist or super offensive to her all the time. It's kind of annoying. But I don't think this movie was really made for me. I think it's made for teenage girls with low self-esteem. Because the teenage girls in this movie, most of them are like I said, they're 16, but they mention how they have done all kinds of sexual things like a year prior when they were 15. I don't think this movie's very good for a younger audience, that's for damn sure. Whatever, moving on. Some of the other characters are going to be Chris from the present time. He's a podcaster who just talks about the 3 murders and really nothing else. His dad is like a famous Pulitzer-winning reporter. There's Lauren, who's Amelia's mom, who Jamie goes to for help when she gets back into the past, because she's the only one who might be able to fix the time machine to send her back to her present time. There's Tiffany, who's a redheaded chick. She's a part of the Mollies, which is the group Jamie's mom is a part of. There's also Heather, and I think Kara? No, Kara's a police chief's daughter. Her dad, Blake, is there. I just never caught the mom's name. Sorry. There's Randy, who becomes the coach of the school in the present time and is a real douchebag in the past. There's Kara, as I said, she's the police chief's daughter. She's a stoner through and through. There's Damon, who's the principal in the past. He's just a goody two-shoes, right? By far the most likable character in my opinion. Whatever. It's just me. And I believe that's the basis of the main characters. There's one of the girls who gets murdered whose name I just don't remember. Doesn't really matter. Alright, now I'm going to get into real spoiler territory, and I'm just going to go over the story real quick. So Jamie gets to the past, asks for Lauren for help. She kind of explains how time travel works and that it's not quite like Back to the Future where you can just disappear. It's more like you were already born in that other present time. You came back to this time And since you're here already, you can't be affected by the rules of time travel. If you get stuck here, you're just stuck here. You got nothing. Sucks to suck, but at least you're alive. I don't know how much I like that rationale. I certainly prefer the Back to the Future kind, but whatever. There's also the present time where her friend Amelia and the podcaster Chris are actually working together while Amelia's trying to fix the time machine. They're having a, as they say, the Mandela effect. Chris is remembering things from the past, since he's an old man now. He's remembering how things have changed. I don't really like that either. If somehow she can't change the present, it doesn't really affect her. I don't see how it's going to affect the actual present time to where they know what's going on. I don't know. It just seems kind of stupid. It is a comedy horror though, so I can't judge it too harshly on that. Well, Jamie goes to her school, tries to find her mom and their dumbass friends, tries to help them. They're obviously super mean to her at first because apparently everyone in the 80s was a dick in high school. They're all drug addicts, drunks, and whores, basically. They're all whores. I don't know why every single character is a fucking whore, drug addict, drunk, but they all are. All of them. Except the principal. He's the only one who's not a piece of shit. Well, we transition to a party that the first girl, Tiffany, is having. She's about to get it on with Eddie, the singer, after she breaks up with her boyfriend, Blake, Jamie's dad. And, well, Ken, there to murder. Tiffany's gone. Bye-bye. Jamie tries to convince her mom in the past that she's a psychic and that she's there to help her survive this situation and everything that's going on. Mentions how she's eventually supposed to wind up with Blake, which you would think would ruin her being born. It doesn't, because they don't listen at all. They're horny idiots, right? It doesn't affect her at all. Also, kind of fucking stupid. Comedy horror. Moving on. We hear a short story about this chick named Fat Trish. While they're on a car ride going to a cabin in the woods for another girl's birthday. Well, as they're talking about Fat Trish, they get to the cabin in the woods. Obviously, it's very desolate. There's really nothing else out there except for that cabin. Everyone has a good time, except Jamie, who's trying to keep them all alive. They're all just being a bunch of morons. Getting high, getting drunk, passing out, banging. Well, Ken shows up. And the girl that he originally kills during this time, he doesn't go after her. Instead, he goes after a different one. And then there's kind of a dance fight, almost, right there. It's kind of funny. It's also kind of sad. There's 3 of them attacking the killer. They do not succeed. He manages to stab Blake and hurt him. He also, I believe, cuts Jamie's mom. But he does kill the girl he was originally, the other girl that he was after. And he leaves, disappears. What a surprise. They wind up at the police station. Blake kind of accuses Kara because she's the only one who's missing during this time where everyone's fighting this killer. And Randy and the Asian chick are both in the hot tub, banging. No foreplay. Randy is not good at foreplay. He said so himself. Well, after this, they're back at school. Jamie thinks that it might have to do with Fat Trish's brother, who's kind of like a creepy loner dude who you might think is a school pew-pew. I don't know how else to say it. Well, she breaks into his van, finds a bunch of video games, and he's kind of a passive little pussy. It's whatever. It's fine. Then Damon shows up as a hall monitor kind of guy. No hall pass. Checks on them. They have a short conversation about how if only Tiffany had given Eddie a BJ, he might still be alive. The real lesson there is, you gotta give BJs, otherwise you're fucked. That's the lesson right there. Well, the rest of the surviving teens Jamie and, Randy, the Asian chick whose name I don't know, Jamie's mom, Blake, they come up with a plan to try to stop the killer. So they go to a haunted house where the other girl is supposed to die. They're all just waiting for him. They leave the Asian girl to walk through the haunted house alone to try to get his attention while they're waiting inside. He eventually shows up. They attack him. They all start fighting him, and he kind of whoops all their asses. And then he gets stabbed through the chest by Kara, who just randomly shows up. She's dressed like the Grim Reaper, and apparently her scythe is real because her dad gave her the weapon. Dead. You find out that that killer, Ken, is Damon. It's the principal. He was dating Fat Ashley. He was very upset about how these 3 girls had gotten her killed during a drunk driving accident. The mom, you find out, had nothing to do with this drunk driving accident at all. So Jamie's very confused on why the killer went after her in the first place. And then all of a sudden, a second killer shows up. And you do get these transitions between the past and the present. And you see, well, Amelia on the floor. Chris is gone with the new time machine. So it's pretty obvious who the new killer is. It's Chris. Chris is there. Well, Chris kills that other third girl like he does originally. Or, well, like Damon does originally. And then he tries to kill them. Doesn't succeed. Starts chasing after Jamie. That's his main target. They end up in the roundy round where her new time machine is supposed to be, thanks to Amelia's mom, Laura. There's a lot of nonsense in that part. It's comedy horror again, but still nonsense regardless. Well, basically Jamie ends up beating Chris, finding out that he was the one who killed her mom in the present time. She manages to get back in time, finds out she has a new brother, and her name is no longer Jamie. That's now her brother's name. Her name is like something with a C. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's basically the end of the movie. This movie certainly has some flaws, but as I said, it's comedy horror. You can't look too hard into it, right? One thing that really bothers me, though, is the beginning with the mom getting killed. The killer goes through the front door and then magically shows up at the back door within like 2 seconds. There's also a moment where some trick-or-treaters go in the house real quick because the door's wide open. They see the mom dead at the end of the hallway. And they give just like the fake screams that you would hear in a dumbass horror movie, but you can see the 2 actors who are running out not screaming. There's nothing wrong with their faces. There's just a bunch of screams. It just looks real fucking dumb. I think Jamie's super annoying. I mean, there's moments when she's fine, but the rest of the time she's pretty annoying. Just constantly whining about something insensitive. I don't know. Like I said, everyone's also a hoe. They're idiots. They do drugs. They drink. The only decent character is the killer. And frankly, he's the one I like the best. Everyone else kind of sucks. In a real life situation. I can't help it. It just bothers me to my core. I'm a little petty like that. All in all, though, I think the movie's decent. I think I'd say 7 out of 10. I don't think it's amazing. The comedy's not super funny. Occasionally, it'll make you laugh. At least it made me laugh occasionally, but I also don't think I'm the target audience for this. I think it's for teenage girls with low self-esteem. I'm not kidding about that. Seriously. Look at yourself. Love yourself. Be a better person. Don't be like these characters at all. Like whatsoever. For the love of God. Please. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please click like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment. Maybe you disagree with my point of view, my rating, whatever. Maybe you do agree with it. Maybe there's something I didn't bring up that you think I should have. Let me know. Peace.